Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to episode whatever of season 2. So that was a good intro.
3 or 4?
I think it's actually 6.
Okay.
If we're
okay.
counting the Halloween and the Christmas one.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, because we just released a Christmas one, which was a rewind.
Yes.
A delightful
Delight.
look back.
Merry Christmas
at
from us.
Yeah. I mean, I know this is in January, but, you know, whatever.
Well, we haven't received any thank you notes, so I felt the need to...
You guys have been remiss on sending those.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to be talking about 1998. Mm-hmm. First, we're going to, as always, look at gall. Mm-hmm. We got some gall. We talked about a little bit of gall before.
Yeah.
Private gall.
Yes, we have private gall and we have public gall.
Yes.
So our public gall. Anyone
Yes.
have any public gall that's just burning that you want to talk about?
I can go if
Let's
you want
go.
me to.
Yeah.
Okay. My burning gall is the
burning
Oh, it's burning. Public and burning.
public and burning.
sounds like a hemorrhoid or something. Yeah.
It feels like
Yeah.
it.
Wait,
Is the United States Postal Service.
Oh.
Listen.
Oh.
Listen. From what I understand, we're not exactly solvent these days. We're struggling, which is why stamps are at like whatever, 73 cents. Absurd amount, okay? You're barely getting by, is my understanding. So I feel like you would think that maybe you would do the things you do extra well to keep to like prove your worth.
Oh,
like
that's
this
silly.
is why we right. As I know that this is post Christmas, but this is I am, as I sit here now, minus 2 separate Christmas presents that were just lost in the ether. That I've had to do all the due diligence myself to track down to other post offices where they were first scanned because I can get no help from anyone within the Postal Service.
Wow.
They just are like, well, yeah, I see that scan. It'll show up when it shows up. And I'm like, well,
That's not how things work.
first thing, one of them I paid for expedited shipping.
Oh.
And
that's
not even
bullshit.
because I was late ordering it, okay? Just because I wanted to guarantee, like I just didn't want anything to happen. I thought the sooner it gets here, the quicker I have a chance to fix something. That did not work out for me at all. It's somewhere in Utah is all I know.
Oh.
That's all I know.
That's not Iowa.
No, it's not Iowa.
No.
The second thing is at this moment in Illinois, which is a big jump because previously it was in California.
Oh,
for
they overshot.
Yeah.
yes, in their huge
Too much.
whatever-
We went too far.
slingshot of packages. And when I said California, it hung out there for 2 weeks.
Oh.
And
It took a scenic drive.
It did. And I kept saying, can someone, I don't know. What do you do, right? What do you do? So I read online, I read Reddits, and people had luck. Like if you call that local post office, sometimes they can see that it didn't scan in, even though it says, or they can say it's on this truck and it's going out. I tried that. They don't love it when you call. Which is
that,
fair.
That shouldn't be the advice that you're given either.
But there's like no other recourse except okay. And the one that is stuck in Utah has been there like an egregious amount of time. So I reached out to the company that sent it, that I bought it from, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to get this by the date, and I needed it. And they're like, yeah. Well, what we can offer you is store credit plus a 20% off, coupon. So, and then you don't have to pay a restocking fee. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think you're confused. I never received the item to even send it to you to restock. So like, I don't know where I don't want store credit.
Right.
I want the item or a refund. So finally get them to agree to a refund. And then the next day the package moved. So I have no idea what's going on with that one. I've just let go and let Santa decide what he's doing with that. But the other one.
Do you think that package turned Mormon and it was just like, Utah's a great place?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be. It got on Secret Lies of Mormon Wives and it said, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, like I really like this polygamy thing. So, yeah.
You're right. That is what happened. Yeah.
Also, is this a new job of yours now, a postal just detective to try and figure out where packages are?
It's become that. It's become... I'm hesitant to say how much of an obsession it's become. Me tracking and looking at this and seeing why would it go there and looking up postal routes and just trying to understand how this even happened. This isn't where I wanted to be.
Is one of the things the thing you were going to get for Heath?
Yeah.
That's late?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Is it in Utah or California?
It's in Illinois. That one's in Illinois. So I have hope. I have hope.
Okay.
I have hope for that one. It did sit in California for a period of time. Maybe it took the backlot tour on your
Maybe.
behalf.
It's probably some
Yeah.
Maybe
stereo
it finally
lane.
saw.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But either way, I just feel like maybe, not make people think about going somewhere else when you're maybe want that hot package money.
Those hot package dollars.
Yeah, because it's not cheap to mail a package.
No, it's not.
It is
No,
not.
it's not.
Yeah.
Wow, well, that's shitty.
Yeah.
I have a historical gall.
Ooh, I love historical
Because
Is it about Abe Lincoln?
always. That's my go-to gall. It was just
That
Abe Lincoln.
bastard.
And why did you not say you were gay? Yeah, no. No, my historical gall is on the almost second anniversary of the great polar vortex caper of Ziggy the cat.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
yep.
Yeah. So
It's been 2 almost?
2 years.
Wow.
I think I talked about this on Broads and Books, but
Yeah.
I haven't here. So Ziggy the cat is one of those beings that's super smart and also real dumb, just a real dumb dummy. And, at the time he was about 2 years old. And as we know, I feed some outside cats. And one day in December when it was insane cold, like the wind chill was like -50 or something.
Yeah,
Like it was really bad. Everyone was told stay inside. There had been a lot of snow, so there was just no one out. But it's like 6 a.m. and I'm feeding these cats, and I go to open the back door to get back inside. Ziggy always stands at the door watching, like, hey, suckers, kind of thing, to the outside cats. And at the time, I had another cat, Ramon, who liked to sneak up on Ziggy. And apparently, Ramon snuck up on Ziggy just as I was opening the door. Ziggy freaked the fuck out and ran outside into the cold, which he'd never done before. And then I was like, it was a moment of just shock of like, oh, fuck. And so he ran up my long driveway, out into the street, across the street. And at that point, I started screaming like, Ziggy, Ziggy. And then he heard me and he came running back, but he ran up the tree in the front yard. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, he is screaming like a child who is being tortured. So it is a sound I've never heard in my life, and I never want to hear it again.
Wow.
But also, it's a sound that because everything is so quiet, it is resonating. So it sounds like I am killing something. Instead,
Which is exactly when you want your neighbor's eyeballs on you.
and
Yeah.
it's so cold. It is so
That
cold.
lady that lives in that house that we never see is outside
She's
screaming her head
at a
off.
cat, I think, or a child. I don't know.
And it's so cold. It's so windy. He's up in the tree and I can't reach him. So I go back inside because I'm like, I'll get some food and I'll try and like coax him down or something. I do that. He does nothing. He is just screaming out into the void. He cannot figure out what happened and why he is out in the world. And I'm like, I know, buddy. So I climb the tree to get to him. And it is a long process where he finally looks down and realizes, oh, you're here to help me. Oh, okay. So I am able to grab him. And then I can't quite get out of the tree. So we both fall out of the tree. I fuck my ankle up real bad. Lose my glasses.
It was bad.
It was bad.
The pictures were bad.
And he slipped out of my arms when I fell. But he was, at that point, smart enough to realize, I'm going to stay where I'm at. And so I was able to pick him up, take him back inside. And we got inside. He ran into the basement, and I just stood at the sink and like hyperventilated for about 5 minutes. And then after a little bit, I went downstairs. I'm like, so, hey, bud. And he just kind of looked at me like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I know. Like, you did this. Why are you looking at me? Yeah. And I think the real gall, though, is 2 years later, he still hasn't learned his lesson.
Oh, no.
Because there will be so many times I'm feeding the cats, and I try to come back inside, and he's right there, like at the corner of the door, and I have to put my foot out to push him inside. So, yeah. The gall is a real smart, dumb cat.
Remind
named
me,
Ziggy.
you did end up finding the glasses like in the thaw.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
After all the snow had melted, like I tried to find them after the snow melted,
Yeah.
and they were just disappeared. And then one day, like 6 months later, I'm mowing the lawn, and there they are, totally mangled. Cannot be, But as I pulled him out, he scraped them down my face along with a few claw marks. So it was.
Fuck. That's abuse.
It was abuse. And I was like, dude, I am trying to save you.
Yeah.
And make sure we don't get, social service called on us because I'm murdering a child.
Social services. The idea of that when you've tried so many times to get them help and they're like, we don't want your cats.
Well, a thought I had too was like, it's so cold. There's so much snow. I couldn't get help here if I tried. It is you and me, buddy. We got to figure this out.
Yeah, this is it. And he's very lucky that it was that because he ran That's a busy street that he was
Yes.
running back and forth on
Yeah.
without abandon.
We figured it
terrible.
out. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's also, as I hit the anniversary around this time of year, I'm like, God, you're a dummy.
Yeah.
I love you, but you're a dummy.
It's nice, though, I mean, when Gall has a happy ending.
It is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the gall is just like, you didn't learn from it, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
But then again, we are in the United States of America. We don't learn from our mistakes.
No, we certainly don't.
So
No.
you are definitely an American cat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
They should put that in the Constitution.
They should-
We will not learn from our mistakes. Amendment 253.
All right, Heath, what about you? What's your gall?
I have a little bit of Gall and then an update on some previous Gall. But I'll
Fantastic.
Oh, Gall update's the best.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I like to go for runs here in the beautiful city of Des Moines, Iowa, and I would like the fine people of Grand Avenue, the street I usually run on, to either stop talking to me or figure out a better way to talk to me.
Who's talking to you while you're running?
Yeah.
Yesterday I went on a run, and a young man asked me while I was running up the hill on Grand Avenue if I smoked.
What?
I was like, I do not. And I kept going, and then he yelled back. He's like, "Sorry, man. I just wanted to know." And I was like,
It gets weirder. I thought he wanted to bump one.
I think that's what the next question would have been.
Oh.
I think.
But you went with the jogger that's currently
Right.
jogging up a hill.
Yeah. So I was just like, I don't know, maybe read the room a little bit, maybe
Also,
check
even
in on
if
some
you were a
context.
smoker, you wouldn't have them on you while you were running.
Probably
so
not.
bad mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Next time you run on that, you should be smoking while you run.
Just have it hanging on my lip.
Yeah, just running. Yeah.
I feel like if I do it enough, I mean, I think collectively the community would be like, God, did you see that guy running while he was
Yeah.
smoking? If I did it at a busy
You'll
enough time,
You'll
people
be
would-
known
Yeah.
throughout the
Known,
city.
yeah. And then that guy will be like, he lied to me.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then a different day, like a week or two ago, I was running up the same street, and a lady had pulled out of a apartment complex driveway and had blocked the sidewalk. And it was in the morning; it was still dark out, and I just went around the front of her car, no big deal. Like it's kind of annoying. I mean, I wish people would pay better attention, but nobody got hurt. And so I'm kind of past her, and she rolls her window down, and she's like, "You should wear wider clothing." And she yells this at me.
What?
And I was like, first of all, wider? Pardon me, racist. I think you're thinking of the term brighter.
Yep.
Yeah.
But wider came too quickly to
Right,
her.
yeah. And also, like, I mean, I get she felt like an asshole.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to put the blame on me. And I was like, no, I was just using the sidewalk. It was just a mistake. It's not a big deal. But also, like, shut up.
Again, that is a USA tradition. Feel like an asshole, put the
Right.
blame on someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we were going to let this go. I was past it. I didn't bang on your hood or
No,
anything.
yeah.
Like,
I didn't flip you off. I didn't do anything.
Wow.
I did yell fuck off afterwards, though, after she told me to wear wider clothing. So technically, I did do something at the end.
Yeah, but she deserved
could
it
she
that
hear
way.
you say fuck off?
I wasn't facing her because I was going away, and I was like, fuck off. And she probably didn't hear me.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I was far enough away.
In
that
my
probably
mind, she
didn't.
did, and
In my
she
mind,
was
she did, too.
chastened by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think everyone just, collectively, everybody, let's just sort of pull it together when we're
I
interacting
don't understand.
with
Like,
me in public.
someone is moving very fast by you. You think like I need to stop that person and ask them inane questions. That's
Yeah.
a gall. That's
That's
gall.
gall. It's also gall to be the one blocking a sidewalk and then say, you need to wear brighter clothing.
Yeah.
Except it comes out as whiter. I mean, I thought you were going to say she rolled down her window and yelled sorry and then tried to start a conversation.
Right.
I didn't even occur to me that you would roll down the window and blame the runner.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Blame the runner that you almost ran over.
Yeah, that you blocked.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yep. But I will give an update on a previous gall, which was anyone who's listened, my DoorDash order from a few weeks ago that never showed up.
DoorDash order.
Still hasn't shown up.
No.
The investigation is still ongoing. Because I refresh that fucking webpage every 2 or 3 days just to see that they're still apparently looking into this.
What?
But they have started sending me emails now, and the emails are you still dreaming about your order from Gateway Market? And I'm like, I'm not, because I never got it. I can't dream about something that never happened, right? I mean, I guess you can. But they're sending me emails as if
You got it.
they didn't
enjoyed
fuck it up the first
Yeah.
time, right? Yeah, if I got it and I enjoyed it, and they think I should do it again, and I'm just like, I don't know, you guys. You didn't really come
This
through
is
the first
some
time.
piss poor marketing.
This is bad.
Yeah. They need better inter-office communication. They need to get with the investigation department.
They need to move past
Yes.
memos into like
I also feel
electronic
like
age.
your DoorDash. I mean, what are we looking at? $20 credit? Like, let's just do it and move on. Like, it wouldn't even be worth your time to pay an employee to look into it for the amount of money it is. Like, at some point, we just call that cost of doing business and move the fuck on.
Right. Yeah.
I can't believe that it's still in that stage.
Yep.
I really like to think that somewhere out there's a rotting pile of food that someone's just like, oh, I forgot to deliver this. Oh,
That's really where my mind has gone, is that the person that delivered, Brittany, I believe,
Yes,
that
right.
delivered
Brittany.
that day, I feel like she was real close to getting fired with DoorDash. Like, she doesn't have a lot of good. And so she said, no, I delivered the right package, because she just cannot take
Maybe
another
that's
hit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
she's
otherwise,
blocking
I
you.
just don't know how they'd be like, why would I flag you out of anyone and be like, oh no, we think you did get it, so we're going to investigate.
I'm just waiting for there to be like when this goes to trial, which I know it will.
Yep.
And Brittany's on the
Trial of the
stand.
century.
Brittany's on the stand like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men.
Yes.
And I'll be Tom Cruise, and I'll be, she'll tell me I can't handle the truth, and I'll say whatever Tom Cruise said, which I don't remember right now.
Yeah.
And I'll do the Brady Bunch thing and just drop a book and see
Yeah.
if she has whiplash. Be like, you lied!
Yep.
What about the Legally Blonde thing with her perm? Does she have a perm that we can catch her out on?
I don't know. I bet she does.
I
She
mean-
seems like a perm lady.
She seems like it. So the trio of our approaches somehow will get her.
I think we can trick her with your order, because you went
Yeah.
really balanced. You said salad and french fries,
Yep.
which is probably not a combo that she gets a lot.
That's true.
So she might only remember the salad, and you'd be like, gotcha, there were also fries! So you didn't deliver it.
I believe in balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, get ready for jail, Brittany. Make amends.
Get your affairs in order.
Yep.
It's
tie
time.
tie up those loose ends. I might, when I see a photo of Brittany in jail, I might order something else from them. It'll be small. It'll be like a pack of gum.
Yeah.
I'm not spending a lot of money with them.
Try it out.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Get me a
They gotta
fountain soda.
rebuild trust.
Yeah. Rebuild trust.
So, okay, our last go at 1998. Here's a quick recap. In 1998, there was the first MP3 player, the MP Man. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So sexist.
I do, because I looked up so many pictures of that thing.
It's not a great design. Also, Jesse Camp won the I Want to Be a VJ contest on MTV. Also, I had some stories about bad dentists and bad dentistry. Like one
Yes.
dentist pulled all the teeth out of some lady
Yes.
and she sued her. Yeah, it was just a roundup. Apparently, this was the year of the bad dentist.
Cocaine and dentist.
Yeah. You brought the first JLo divorce.
There's been so many.
So
There's
many.
been so many.
But the
She's
first.
racking them up. The
first.
first.
Yep.
You also brought the FCC radio crackdown,
On pirated stations.
Yeah.
They were serious.
which
about
led
that.
us to think about the great picnic where the guy's just like, let me tell you about my raid on the pirate radios.
Nailed it. He's saying that. He said it over Christmas break. You know he did. He told
know
that
he did.
story
Yeah.
again.
And then you also brought the first internet meme, the hamster song. And then we had a long discussion about how to spell hamster.
And that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But we've all moved on.
And then Heath, you brought the travesty that was City of Angels.
Ah, yes.
Yep. You brought the Seinfeld finale. And then you brought VH1 Divas Live. Hell of a year. I think we can top it, though.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Aaron, do you want to start us off?
Sure. This was the year of a little toy called a Furby.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I think most people have some sort of recollection. Sort of looks like a gremlin.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
familiar with the Gremlin movies, but like the ears are smaller, just like a furry thing. And it was an electronic robot. It was originally released in 1998. And it went through this like really intense must-have launch. Like everybody wanted this Furby. And I have a recollection of the Furby. I mean, I think I was too old to really
think we all
fully,
were, yeah.
But I also didn't realize when I started researching the Furby what it was actually intended to do. Like, I don't think anyone actually played with that toy like it was supposed to be.
Oh.
Because it had like specific speaking capabilities, and it could speak in 14 languages depending on where you got the toy. It would adapt to what language you spoke, and then you could teach it phrases, and you could teach it favorite phrases by petting it while you said certain phrases and stuff. So it was a lot more, like, I feel like if this was more known or more publicized, I feel like there would have been more parents that were like, well, I don't know about that robot.
I don't like about that reinforcement.
Yeah. So there were 40 million Furbies sold in the first 3 years of its production. So it's considered like the first domestically sold robot, basically, that was effectively marketed and sold mass amounts of. It starts out speaking Furbish, which is a unique language that all Furbies speak, but is programmed to start speaking English words and phrases over time. So it's supposed to imitate for like a kid the idea of learning language, like it would learn, but it would still add Furbish in there sometimes, and then slowly it gets better and better and better. It supposedly can speak English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Japanese, Swedish, Greek, and Portuguese without having to get like a special model. If you wanted, I think there were more languages.
Any of this about
That's what I
Furby.
didn't either.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't even know that you taught it to speak. I don't think. I think I just knew it like was alive and blinked its eyes and was like. Meh.
This feels like when your phone listens to you and then you get ads. Like if someone asks you about something strange, then all of a sudden when you open Instagram, you're getting all the ads for whatever.
Was this the start of things spying on us?
It has Jeff Bezos written all over it. I'm just going to say that from the jump. It feels like something his spinely, skelety fingers are in, but I just assume. I've never done a close-up of his hand, but I assume they're long digits and they're weird. I don't know why. I just feel like that probably helped with his coding at the beginning.
I'm glad you put it that way instead of saying it's got Jeff Bezos' DNA all over it.
Yeah,
that seems different.
That does seem different.
That's not.
That's
no good.
Yeah.
But that also seems likely in some way. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I didn't realize they could communicate with each other. Other
See.
Furbies can communicate with other Furbies with some infrared port located between their eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
So they're keeping secrets from people?
Well, that was a common misconception, was the idea that they thought that they repeated words that were said around them. And there was an active part of teaching them language. They wouldn't just like listen and then repeat that word. So, but that belief made it so that there were intelligence agencies that would not allow them like within like they didn't want them in their employees' homes, and they couldn't be like anywhere on the premises or anything like that because they weren't entirely sure exactly what it was when it first came out, like what the programming was.
Can you imagine the kid of a CIA officer? It's just like, Dad, I really want a Furby. I was being sexist. Mom, I really want a Furby. And then Mom says, sorry, kid, this could be an intelligence risk.
Yes.
A national security threat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or just the regular, like, lunatic parent who would just be like, these Furbies are talking about me. Get them out of the house.
Yes. Because you could teach it, like, your favorite phrases by petting it when it said those phrases. So if you were like, Dad's a moron, and you kept saying that and kept petting it, over time, I'm assuming it would say, Dad's a moron. Yeah. And there you go. It also reminds me a little of the drone situation right now, where it's like, why didn't you just get one and take it apart and examine it? Why did we just do like blanket laws and be like, we don't know what they are, no Furbies? It's kind of like the drone. Right. I'm like, well, there's options. We just
got to run with fear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The first version of it apparently is still really popular and goes for a lot on eBay because hackers were fascinated with it because they were practicing and hacking into it and getting it to do different things. And so still today, it's like crazy expensive on eBay.
Wow.
And all that.
Do you feel like the Furby owes a debt of gratitude to Teddy Ruxpin?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Teddy Ruxpin was out there doing it the old school way. Right. He had to bring his own shit with him.
Yep.
I mean, he's like the guy that got a gig, at Applebee's.
Got a job where he has to dress like an asshole.
Yeah, and he came and he has to put the tape in himself, his background music, because he doesn't have a band, because they reformed without him. And he's just Teddy Ruxpin up there singing. And
meanwhile, there's all these jacked up weird books and stuff from Teddy Ruxpin.
And meanwhile, Furbies are just out there repeating phrases all on their own. And he's like, well, you didn't come up through it.
You didn't
like
come
I
up through
did.
the streets.
Yeah.
You didn't pay your dues.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
These youths today.
Teddy Ruxpin's like in an alley just throwing beer cans at him. When a Furby walks by, he's like, fuck you.
Teddy Ruxpin just smoking and running at the same time.
Yeah. You gotta smoke, Furby. Furby's like, what? I would never. And that's not even talking about Mother Goose. Remember the scary Mother Goose
yeah.
outfit?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We don't even want to talk about what she does with Furbies.
Oh boy,
She's a
perv.
perv.
I was going torture. You were going perv. Okay, yeah.
It's a little of both.
Either one, yeah. She really
both.
enjoys it.
If you're a goose with a wing that comes up and you can stick things in there, I think the possibilities are wide.
Well, my first one is a little movie called The Truman Show.
Oh, yeah.
And this movie starred Jim Carrey as a simple man living in a suburban town who's just easygoing, generally happy. But he does start noticing some really strange things around his 30th birthday, which don't we all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Something falls from the sky, and when he examines it, it looks like a stage or a set light. It's like, that's real weird. Then there's an isolated patch of rain that's just over him and follows him. Then he spots his dad, who's supposedly been dead from a boating accident since he was a kid. But before he can talk to his dad, a bunch of guys drag him away. And he starts thinking, Truman starts thinking about other weird things that he remembers. And he comes to the conclusion, something he's probably felt for a long time, that he's being really watched in a really weird way. And he's right. Because we as an audience discover right about that point that Truman was a baby adopted by a television network.
Oh.
And since birth, he has unknowingly been the center of a reality show. Everyone around him, parents, friends, even his wife, are all paid actors. And the guy in charge...
Like, it gave me chills again, even though I know it. Because the idea...
Yes!
It's so... I mean, I got a little sweaty. Can you think if you were in the middle of a reality show and you didn't know it? All the shit you've done on camera?
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it follows him 24/7, all the time, everywhere.
It's a little surprising that this hasn't actually happened.
Right?
That somebody hasn't actually done
You're
this.
right.
Absolutely right.
Oh, my gosh.
The guy in charge of all this is Christoph, interesting name, played by Ed Harris. And over 30 years, he's engineered the whole thing. He, in fact, made sure, he tried to build in certain things into Truman's personality, like a fear of water, by killing his dad off in a boating accident, so that Truman would never try to escape this island town that they're in. He also chooses who Truman should marry, even though in college Truman falls for an extra, Sylvia, who tries to tell him the truth, but she's forced off set. So Truman marries Laura Linney instead, which is a pretty good consolation prize. It's Laura Linney.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Eventually, as things get weirder and he confronts his wife, Truman makes an escape plan. And despite all the people now focused on catching him, and Christoph sending storms and all sorts of shit his way, Truman finds an exit out of this massive set. And at the point that he's about to leave, Christoph admits everything, and Truman goes ahead and escapes. And we see Sylvia as one of the viewers watching and waiting. Also part of this is that each of the paid actors would occasionally go into advertisements or show, if they're in the kitchen or whatever, and don't you think this new food is terrific kind of thing, So it's constant advertisement. And in fact, when Truman catches out Laura Linney as his wife, she panics and starts going into an ad for a dishwasher cleaner or something. And he's like, who are you talking to? So some interesting facts about the movie. Jim Carrey beat out Robin Williams and Gary Oldman for the role.
Gary Oldman?
Yeah. And Dennis Hopper was originally Christoph, but he was fired 2 days into the shooting. Apparently, they did not like whatever he was doing. And they were like, boop. And then they had to scurry around and find somebody else, and they found Ed Harris, which is great. Ed Harris was terrific.
I would love to know what Dennis Hopper did in 2
I know,
days
right?
that ruined this.
Also, the scenes of Truman's house were filmed at a residence owned by the Gates family. We're talking Matt Gates.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Bill.
Nope. As in the crazy Gates. The Florida State Senator Don Gates and U.S. Representative Matt Gates. With a family home of theirs.
So do they think they're in the
Barf.
Truman Show? Is that part of the problem?
Maybe.
Matt Gates just thinks this is all, a joke.
Yeah, maybe.
In his reality show, can you date teen girls?
I'm assuming if you think you can make your own rules.
Yeah, because then they're not really teens, right?
Right,
So
right.
you can do whatever. The movie did really good. It was really well reviewed, and it was nominated for Best Actor, Best Script, and Best Supporting Actor for Ed Harris. for the movie. And as you can imagine, there was all sorts of like thoughts and analysis around the movie because this was as reality shows were just starting to really like ramp up, you know?
Yeah.
And we were starting to just experience 24/7 news and programming. And it's hard to think about because obviously since then it's a reality show world, but it was really fascinating to see this movie and think about what that would be like. There was another sort of offshoot of this, I think, called Ed with Matthew McConaughey and
Jenna
someone.
Elfman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a sillier take on this, and it was like someone signed up to be part of a reality show. But so that was on our brain a lot. We were trying to figure out like how are reality shows going to change us and how are really, and the answer is we became dumber.
Yeah.
But you know,
that's the answer.
not-
That's where we ended up.
But such a fascinating show, really touching, really moving movie. And yeah.
I forgot about it. It was so good.
And Jim Carrey was really good. Like it was
Yeah.
at the point we didn't know, like, because he was, you know, Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that he could do some drama. Some drama.
Some
too.
drama.
Yeah. All right, Heath, what do you got from 1998?
There's a TV show that
Yeah.
started in 1998, and it was called Will and Grace.
Yes, 1998.
It premiered on September 21st. It's a sitcom, and it followed the lives of Will, who was a gay lawyer, lived in New York City.
There's no such thing.
Oh, this is fiction.
Okay. All right.
This is
His best friend, Grace, who's an interior designer. Jack, who's Will's sassy friend and chronically out-of-work actor.
yeah.
And then there was Karen, Grace's mostly useless assistant. Yeah. The show was on for 8 seasons, the first 3 of which were superb. And then the quality kind of fell off when it all became about Will wanting a kid and Grace wanting to get married, and they fought more, and no one was really all that likable, I didn't think. And there were too many guest stars, and there was that nonsense episode where Karen and Madonna are roommates, and it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It was just like, what's happening? But really, those first 3, probably 3.5 seasons were real. I mean, they're very, very funny. They still hold up today. It was groundbreaking TV for the time because there was hardly any shows on TV with a gay character, let alone 2, let alone one of them being in a lead role. The show ended in 2006, and the final episode was a flash forward, and we learned that Will and Grace hadn't spoken in years. And they reconnect when their respective children are neighbors in a college dorm.
That still haunts me. I hated that ending so
I
much.
hated it so much.
So much. I'm like, how could it? Oh my God.
How could that be after all of that? It was so. Yeah, I hated it too.
Yeah. But then the show was rebooted in 2017, and the reboot completely ignored how the show ended the first time around.
It sure did. Yeah.
And it portrayed Will, Grace, Jack, and Karen as basically just older versions of themselves from the earlier seasons of the first run of the show. And the reboot ended after 3 seasons because, according to rumors on the internet, Deborah Messing, who played Grace, and Megan Mullally, who played Karen, got into a pretty big fight on set and didn't want anything to do with each other after that. So, but I mean, there's not a lot of information about it because which to credit the cast and crew, like nobody was like talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, apparently that's. They all sort of collectively agreed to not get into the details about it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Which is surprising that people held to that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in the day and age of paying for stuff.
somebody's going to have a book come out someday.
Yeah.
It's going to be in it.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like. So over the course of its run, it became only the 3rd sitcom ever for which every main cast member won an Emmy. The other 2 were All in the Family and The Golden Girls. And then in 2020, Schitt's Creek became the 4th show to achieve that distinction.
Everybody won an Emmy.
Yep. So a few years ago, my mom was at my home and noticed the Will and Grace DVDs that I have on a shelf in my living room and said, "Of course you have Will and Grace."
What the fuck does that mean? Jesus Christ.
What?
Yes. She just said as if she just noticed that. Oh,
You're gay. You
I
have
see
to
you
have
have a
them."
couch.
Jesus.
That was funny. She acted like, to me it was like, she acted as if they kind of handed them out for free at the gay recruitment facility
Yeah.
where I was indoctrinated. you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you got your gay card, then you get
went
your
down the
DVDs
line.
of your Will and
What else
Grace.
would be in
Yeah.
that line, do you think?
Oh,
you
that's a
got
good
Will
question.
and Grace.
Yeah. You get
got
Golden Girls, right?
Golden
Like
Girls.
Golden
Yeah, that
Girls.
makes sense. Golden
Yeah.
Girls.
Probably like a vest of some kind.
Yes.
That's
Killer vest.
Uh-huh.
Maybe, you missed out on your first stole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I should have gotten a
You
first.
should have.
Birkenstocks, maybe.
And they'd be like, "Oh no, sorry, these are for these go in the lesbian."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have some of my favorite lines from the show. Mostly they're from Karen. But I've got some to sort of celebrate what was once a fantastic, fabulous show. So here's Karen on swimming pool cleanliness. Good Lord, I can't believe I'm at a public pool. Why doesn't somebody just pee directly on me? Here's Karen confusing all her winter holidays. It's Christmas, for goodness sake. Think about the baby Jesus up in that tower, letting his hair down, so that the 3 wise men can climb up and spin the dreidel and see if there are 6 more weeks of winter.
I want that Christmas story. That sounds way better.
Karen to a stranger in public. What are you looking at? Haven't you ever seen someone with soap and money? And finally, Karen introducing herself as her alter ego. My name is Anastasia Beaverhausen. That's Anastasia, like Russian royalty, and Beaverhausen, like where the beaver live.
I forgot about her.
Beaverhausen. I always liked there was one time where I don't know what the situation was, but she had a bowl of something. She's like, it's my party bowl. Uppers, downers, and candy corn.
I like that one too.
Yeah. There was a Halloween episode one. It was funny where trick-or-treaters show up and she just pours liquor into their plastic pumpkins.
Yeah, it was a very good show. And then, it got a little confused after a while. And that ending was terrible.
That was a terrible ending. Yeah.
It just felt like it sort of betrayed the whole thing of the show. Like
Right.
friendship above all. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Instead, they ended up like 2 girls fighting over a guy or something. It sucked.
It was very weird. Yeah.
I apparently have strong feelings about it that I didn't remember.
I think they're well-founded. I agree with you. Yeah. It was a very in fact, I kind of blocked it out until we brought it up because I was like, oh, yeah, that's why I started. Oh, God. Yeah, and that's why I think I never watched the reboot.
I never watched the reboot either because I was afraid it was going to, like... Yeah, I think I'd lost trust. I had lost trust.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Will and Grace is your DoorDash.
Exactly. And until one of them goes to jail.
Until that writer goes to jail.
I shan't ever return. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. All right, what's your next one, Erin?
Okay, well, this is the year that brought one of my all-time favorite SNL sketches.
Oh.
This is the year it premiered. I know that Amy and I have referenced it a few times on Broads and Books.
Okay.
I think maybe we did at the beginning of this because naturally when you do a podcast and you're by a microphone, you kind of want to do the Schweddy Balls sketch.
Yeah.
The NPR ladies. This was Anna Gasteyer, Molly Shannon, and Alec Baldwin. Mm-hmm. It was actually written by Anna Gasteyer while she was in the Groundlings. And it was inspired by food-related radio shows at that time, but it never like quite took off. She didn't quite, and then she polished it when they were there. And Lorne Michaels actually went to bat for it and made sure that it aired earlier because whoever makes those decisions at NBC wanted it to air later because of using the word ball so many times, obviously. Little known fact that I didn't know, that Ben & Jerry's made an ice cream flavor called Schweddy Balls.
Oh, I wouldn't have gone that route.
Yeah, which was vanilla ice cream with a hint of rum and loaded with fudge-covered rum and malt balls.
Okay, no, because now I'm just going to think Alec Baldwin's DNA, and I don't want any.
Yeah, right?
Nope.
So if you have...
There is a market for that product.
That's true.
It's not Amy, but there's a market.
There is a market for that product. You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you haven't seen the sketch, it's definitely worth going to YouTube and watching. I don't know how you haven't seen it in this amount of time, especially if you listen to us. But,
right, yeah.
It's this Anna Gasteyer, Molly Shannon play 2 NPR ladies that are talking about food in a very muted way, and they have Alec Baldwin on, whose last name is Schweddy and he makes great Christmas rum balls, but all he calls them is Schweddy Balls. And they say that over and over and over.
Your balls taste so good.
Yeah.
I love
Your
when
balls
they,
are
Gonna
chewy.
take a bite of your balls.
Yeah.
when they burst in my mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And that they went on to do some other sketches with those 2
With,
NPR ladies, but
Betty White was on it, and
right.
her Dusty Muffin.
they're Dusty Muffin. I forgot about the Dusty Muffin.
That was so good.
It was so good.
And they asked her, is that a hint of cherry? And she said, oh, my muffin hasn't had a cherry since 1941 or whatever the year was.
Did you see? I've been seeing on either Instagram or YouTube. They're shilling for Capital One now.
Yes,
the
the
two
NPR
of them.
yes,
the NPR
they
ladies.
are. Yeah, they are. Yep. Yeah, and so I mean, this was kind of some of the heyday, in my opinion, of great SNL sketches that sort of just continue and are like you can watch again and again and still laugh at. But this one really stuck out because we've referenced it. I remember when I saw it the first time and I could not get it together.
Oh, man.
Like it was
Yeah.
glorious. And this was before it was easy to find it again to watch. Like you had to have recorded it or so. What a delight.
Instantly memorize it and try it. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Well, kind of related to that in a weird way.
Ooh.
Nice.
Is on,
I like where we're going with this.
Yeah, I do too.
on March 27th, 1998, the FDA approved the use of the drug Viagra.
Oh, well, I was just going to say March 27th, Mariah Carey's birthday.
On Mariah Carey's birthday, they approved the use of the drug Viagra, an oral medication that treated impotence. The best part about this is that this was a sildenafil, something like that, is the chemical name for Viagra. And it's a compound that was originally used and studied to treat hypertension, high blood pressure, and a form of cardiovascular disease. But chemists at the company, at Pfizer, found that while the drug didn't have much effect on the angina or the cardiovascular, it could induce erections, typically within 30 to 60 minutes.
So they're just like testing this in a lab and people just keep getting boners. And so they're like, oh, wait.
God.
So Viagra is a mistake.
Yes, it's a mistake because there were so many fucking boners in the lab.
There has to be a harassment suit attached to this. There has to be a lady that was working there that was like, this isn't funny, guys. I'm done. I am done with the boners. We're studying hypertension. So, man, sorry, but I also have a boner.
And so for a while, I worked at Northwestern Med School, and we did like adverse event forms. So anytime you do a study, a clinical trial study, they have to report anything, like even headaches, whatever, it's side effects that come from the drugs. Sometimes it was real creepy. There were some drugs they were doing that induced like suicide. It was bad. But I kept thinking as I was reading this, like there must have been so many adverse event reports of like, this guy got a boner and this guy got a boner.
And it didn't go away for 4 hours.
So after just a lab full of boners, they realized the economic opportunity in this.
Yeah.
So they decided to market the drug for impotence. It was patented in 1996, and 2 years later, which is such a short time.
That's really quick.
Compared to other drugs, it was approved for the FDA for use in treating erectile dysfunction, which was a name they came up with for this drug.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a Wolf of Wall Street story here. Like
Right?
some guy worked in the lab and took a few pills and gave them to his buddies at a party, and they were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. It was a bunch of finance bros that were like,
Yes.
"You could make so much money from this."
A boner lasted for 6 hours.
So Viagra's massive success was pretty much instantaneous. In the first year alone, the pills themselves, which are $8 to $10 each, it yielded about $1 billion in sales. And the whole impact was enormous too, because this was one of the first drugs that did like TV ads. Up to this point, there had been nothing like that. This was available by prescription only, but they marketed on television and included, at one point, ex-presidential candidate Bob Dole in his mid-70s as a spokesperson.
See, no, I've always considered Bob Dole a boner shrinker.
Right?
So
My thought was like, again, what was the marketing meeting? And it's like, you know what we need? We need Bob Dole. We need Bob Dole to come on in and help us sell these penile
I
drugs.
went the other way.
Oh.
I went, guys, we have to have a meeting again. Bob Dole called again. And he is
Really?
begging to be in this commercial. Begging. And I don't know what we're going to do. Like, we're getting a lot of pressure from White House to include it because they're getting letters from him. We're getting pressure from upstairs. I don't know. I think we have to write a commercial with Bob Dole in it.
He's become an evangelical supporter of this.
Yeah.
He cannot believe the erections that he gets when he takes this, and he
Me
needs
neither.
to tell the
Can't
world.
believe I don't believe in Bob Dole's erections.
The problem is we all have to sign a form that we're okay with him having a boner the whole time he's here. Because it really works.
Because now he just takes it around the clock.
Yeah.
It's just, a constant thing.
I mean, but for marketing though, certainly if you want a celebrity spokesperson, you're gonna have a tough time finding someone that's willing to go on TV and be like, I have to take this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough. And at the time, they were primarily targeting older men.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like the numbers have gone down because it's sort of out there everywhere. But what's interesting is that they've never fully studied the long-term effects of Viagra because of that short 2-year time period. They're like, let's get this fucking out. They never really did the longitudinal studies or anything to show like.
And initially, a lot of the people that took it at first are older,
Exactly.
So they weren't around for that much longer afterwards, probably.
But yeah, it is still a blockbuster drug. And meanwhile, nothing for women. Nothing for women.
You go through that period where you're just, things are bad down there, but we don't care.
We don't care about that. Yeah.
Because as long as there's a boner, you're good.
Yes. Because, the main thing here, was impotence was really hurting men's feelings of masculinity.
Right.
So we got to get a drug.
Meanwhile, we got cysts popping, and they're like, you'll be okay.
You'll be fine. It's probably fine.
Oh, it exploded. Sorry. Oh, shoot. We were going to go in and take it out.
Profusely? Oh, it's fine.
Oh, wow. That's
But
weird.
can your husband get a boner? Because that's what really matters.
Yeah. The good news is studies really show that it's okay to have sex during your period as long as you're okay with it. I'm like, what?
And
no.
why shouldn't you be okay? I mean, aren't you a cool girl? You should be okay with it.
You should be okay with it. I know
fine.
you're in immense pain, but it's fine.
I mean, come on, just
It's
take some
here.
Advil.
Everyone
it's
has
fine.
one. Everyone
has
You're not
one.
special. You are not fucking special.
Stop being hysterical.
Yeah.
We're back.
You're getting
Sorry.
worked up.
Yeah, no, just so the listeners know, I left the room and ran a couple errands during that, and now I'm back.
And that went on for a few minutes, and I trimmed it down.
Yeah. We can cut the whole thing if you want. It just felt right. It just felt right.
Aaron and I just locked eyes, and we're like, we got to do this. We got to do this right now.
Do it right now.
It had to be said.
Yeah.
Because trust me, menopausal women are super concerned about your boners.
Oh,
let
God,
me tell
we
you.
can't think of anything else besides their boners.
Yeah,
and your feelings of masculinity. It's fine. It's good.
Like, what? Oh, no.
Oh, no. Your poor ego. It hurts. Oh, bummer.
That sucks.
Oh, meanwhile,
That
I'm
really
bleeding through my clothes all the time. It's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway.
Also, I can't hear you because, believe it or not, that's a menopause symptom, is that I'm losing my hearing.
Really?
But what? You lost your boner?
Yeah. My eyes hurt because that's another symptom, but it's fine.
Wait,
The five
what?
senses.
Get out of here. You can't
No.
hear and see when you go through menopause?
Get out of here.
Your body just breaks down.
It just starts shutting
But we got to
down.
focus on the boners, Heath. We got to focus on them.
Can you hear and see better when you are having your period?
That's a good question. We got to test that.
We do need to test
Although
that.
I think I'm at the tail end of my period, so now, what now?
I'll test it.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. When that's happening, there's a lot of things happening, and
Yeah,
I
that's
might
true.
forget.
Your whole body is just like abort. Just everything.
It's
Get
a
it.
big
Fire sale. Get
Just
it
an
out.
alarm going the whole time. I'm like, if I was on the Truman Show, I would just show up as a siren, just going off. Oh shit, the siren's back. Get her out of frame.
Meanwhile, Tina the Torsa is just overheating like a stone cold bitch.
As they're wont to do.
Viagra.
Fuck you, Viagra. Okay.
How about we let the man speak?
Yeah,
Well-
poor
No,
he. Taking all the ire of everything. Just accept
If you were a
it.
straight man, you'd probably be murdered by now.
Well,
but you're good.
I'm
You're
proud
fine.
to serve.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate your service. Mhm.
So, yeah, 1998.
Yep.
Still talking about it.
Still are. What you got to finish us out?
Jack Frost is an absolutely bonkers movie from
This is a wonderful twist.
1998.
It is a
you think
weird
Jack Frost-
movie.
It stars Michael Keaton as Jack, a father and musician from Colorado, who spent most of his life chasing after his big break, and in doing so, he's neglected his wife and son.
Oh, damn it.
Like a man.
Like a man.
One of the days when he's not busy being a huge disappointment, Jack builds a snowman with his son Charlie, and when they're done, Jack gives Charlie a harmonica and tells him that it's a magical harmonica that Jack will always be able to hear no matter where Charlie is when he plays it. So I guess being an unreliable isn't enough for Jack. He makes a bullshit like this to tell his kid too.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Just gonna up the unreliability.
Yeah. But here's
a dick.
Here's a dumb story, you little moron.
Get out of my way. Here,
I
have
gotta
a
play my
harmonica.
music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soon after, Jack promises to attend Charlie's hockey game, but backs out at the last minute to record what he believes will be his first big hit song.
Oh, boy.
To make it up to his wife and son, he agrees to take them on a trip to the mountains, but then bails on that when he lands a gig that he thinks will make or break his career. So he seems to sort of believe his own hype, and I'm not sure anybody else does. But on his way to the gig, Jack realizes that he's a total shithead and decides to blow off the gig to spend time with his family, because I guess disappointing his family wasn't enough, and he wanted to make sure that he disappointed his band too.
He's got to fuck everyone over.
Yeah.
Got to get them all in there. Yep.
Yeah, you're really putting yourself in no-win situations that you created. Yeah, let's be clear.
But bad news for Jack, because on his way back to meet his family for their trip, he gets in a car accident and dies.
Bummer.
That's a risk you take.
Yeah.
That's the risk you take.
When you're a shithead, that's what happens, apparently.
So a year later, Charlie makes another snowman and tries to make it look as much like his dad as possible, which is sweet and sad and probably unhealthy. And then Charlie plays the harmonica his dad gave him, and lo and behold, Jack's spirit...
Did you say impossible? An impossible alien? You can't make that snowman look like your dad. Amy played the neighbor.
That snowman doesn't look like Michael Keaton.
That's impossible!
Apparently, well, maybe Charlie was like a snow sculptor, like
Maybe,
you know,
you're
on the
right.
side.
Like a chainsaw sculptor. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's impossible.
I call bullshit.
I like to shit on kids' dreams. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, so he plays a harmonica.
Yeah, Charlie plays the harmonica. His dad gave him.
Dad?
Lo and behold, Jack's spirit takes over the body of the snowman while Charlie is asleep.
That's not impossible. That's
Nope.
fine.
That's-
It's fine.
You're okay with that plot twist?
Very plausible.
Okay.
That makes sense.
When the haunted snowman tells Charlie that he's his father, Charlie doesn't believe him at first. You know,
good.
Yeah,
It's good,
that's
kid.
smart.
Yeah.
Stinks.
But then when the haunted snowman Jack uses his secret nickname for Charlie, which is Charlie Boy, and maybe the first and worst
Nicknames?
two-factor authentication in history. Charlie then was like, "Oh, yep, you're my dad." Now he believes him.
Because adding
Charlie
boy to
boy.
anything is super unique.
So Jack takes this opportunity to teach Charlie all the life lessons that he didn't teach him when he was alive because he was busy failing at being a musician. Unfortunately for Jack, he realizes that his time is limited when global warming shows up and he gets all melty.
This is a terrible movie.
Uh-huh.
It feels like maybe Ziggy saw it, and that's what inspired this whole outside
He
situation.
He's
finding
been
his...
watching Jack Frost at night.
He's like, my dad.
He thought the tree. He was like, "That's my dad with the harmonica."
So before he melts, Jack finally shows up at one of Charlie's hockey games, and then they head off to the mountains where it's colder. Which
Wait, so this is...
yeah, the snowman attended a hockey game.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you used impossible on the snowman making? Aren't you glad you used it then?
And no one's like, wait, there's a snowman?
Amy is unraveling, you guys.
Right before our eyes, she's losing it. Oh man.
Okay, go on.
And after the hockey game, they head off to the mountains where it's colder, which I think is technically considered kidnapping because Jack's widow / Charlie's mom didn't know that they were going. So the snowman just
taking your
takes
kid
the
across
kid.
state lines,
Yeah.
that's
mhm.
And
not
who's
good.
going to listen to you when you say a snowman kidnapped your kid? You're in a psych hold.
Well, and then after they arrive, then Jack calls the wife and tells her that where they are, and she seems way cooler with getting a phone call from a deceased spouse than I would be. Like I wouldn't. I would. Yeah. I would be upset.
I don't know. But the fact that he's a snowman too. Sorry.
Did he reveal that in the phone call? Did he say, "Hey, I'm a snowman and I took our son," or just?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, so he's saving that for in person.
Good.
So she heads to the mountains and gets there just about the same time that Jack's snowman shell is melting, and he heads back to Purgatory or wherever it is that one goes to when the snowman they're inhabiting melts. And I can only assume Charlie spends the rest of his life trying to cope with this hugely traumatic experience that he just lived through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
So he
the
lost
end?
his dad twice.
Yeah. I mean, had the movie been more successful, they would have made another one. And they would have figured out a different way to get him to come back. But
Probably is, fucking penguin.
Fuck.
My favorite thing of that whole time was that you went impossible on making the snowman, and we were going to move to snowmen at hockey games, calling people. We just moved into crazy territory.
Yep. I just really want to be at that hockey game where someone's like, wait, there's a snowman over there. He's talking.
I want to be at the game watching the person that does realize it and saying it, watch everyone else be like, yeah, that's Charlie's dad. He's come back to be a better dad.
Jack Frost, idiot.
You don't
try to
like
keep up,
family?
Pam.
Yeah.
Pam, don't you know global warming? Come on.
Yeah.
You're such a dumb bitch, Pam.
God, you're always ruining everything. Well, he should wear whiter clothing.
Wow. I didn't
I know what Amy's doing this afternoon. She's going to watch Jack Frost.
She obviously is going to watch
I gotta watch this masterpiece and see how it went down. But basically, I gotta see if the snowman looked like Michael Keaton or not. Because that's what I call bullshit on. Anyway.
I really like where you put your line in this movie. I really do. Yep. I think I've only seen half of this, and it was that bad that I was like, I gotta, because I remember the car accident scene and that whole, but then I opted out, I think, or something.
Thank you for bringing that, Heath. I think I needed that breakdown or whatever the hell just happened to me. But yeah.
I believe Heath called it an unraveling.
An unraveling, that's right. The giggles, they get you.
They get you. They sneak up on you.
Well, 1998, great year to revisit.
It was a wonderful year.
Year of accidental boners and
Whoopsies.
snowmen coming to life. Oh, good times. Truman Show being at the Gates house. Another great episode by us.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
Well done, everyone.
We really did it this time.
We really did it.
We did it.
We'll see you again next time. Fuzzy Memories is a Broads and Books production. It's hosted by Heath Smith, Aaron Johnston, and Amy Lee Lillard. Follow us at Fuzzy Memories Pod on Instagram for clips and highlights. And follow us at Broads and Books Productions for updates on new shows coming your way. See you next time.
It does. I mean, the accidental boners, though.
Oh.
I had a coworker who had, I don't think it was Viagra. I think it was Cialis. Is that the other one?
Yeah.
Had that delivered to the office.
No. How?
Right.
In what way? What?
It just came in a package, and the box had the name brand on the outside. And it sat there like there was a counter where the packages sat. And it sat there for like hours. Like it sat there for most of the day. And people would walk by and see it. And of course, one or two people see it and they say something to somebody and they say something to somebody. So it's just like the entire office is walking by. And it was just like, come on, dude.
Oh my God. In what world are you like, yeah, I'm going to send this one to the office?
Yes.
You're Matt Gates.
Be fine. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I can go for hours.
That's it. He was advertising like, who wants to join me?
Christmas party's coming up. Bang, bang.
The bad thing was at the time his daughter worked at the office too.
Oh my God. What?
Yes.
Oh, I hate it. Oh, Heath. Oh. So did someone tell her?
I think she found out about it, yeah. And that's not how you want to find out about that. You don't want to find out about that at all.
No,
you don't want to find out about it at work.
Good God. Well, that's an image we'll take with us for the rest of the day and year in life.
Yeah. Year in life.
Happy 2025.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my God.